Hansi Flick sure looks like the right one, man. Especially after you look at that El Clasico result, 4-0 to Barcelona. Who saw that one coming, Jay? Because in the Champions League,
Not me.
both teams came back, and you're like, wow, Barca put on a display against Bayern Munich. Real Madrid came back against Dortmund, and you're like, we're in for a humdinger. And at the end of that game, you're like, whoa. If you can say, can we put this down to a particular player and their offsides? Or do you think just Barcelona were better in their game management and then in the scoring of their goals?
Embarrassing. The whole lot of them who wore white shirts on that evening, embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves, Chuck, to put in that kind of display in front of the Bernabeu crowd. And you know what, right? If you're a Real Madrid fan or a Real Madrid sympathizer, you've seen this far too many times, though, at the Bernabeu. Like in this century, where Barcelona come there and they just ship like goals past Real Madrid. And Chuck, like I've never seen anything like this. Like a derby, like the biggest game. You can say City and Manchester United or Liverpool, Manchester, but as we've just discussed, like Manchester United have been not their best selves. We're talking about a team who are the defending Champions League and La Liga champions, and this is what happens to them. And time again over the years, they've been one of the two best teams, as it tends to happen in La Liga. And Barcelona just stroll into the capital and they do as they please. And this one was especially embarrassing because this is a team essentially that is rebuilding. Mm-hmm. Like how are you being abused like this in your own backyard? And Chuck, yes, right. Hansi Flick coaches the best offside trap like in the world right now, because not just against Real Madrid. If you see how many times they've caught teams like offside compared to the next best team in the league, I think like it's a difference of like 40 times or something like that. So that is great. I mean, Bayern Munich could not figure out that extreme high line in the Champions League either. Mm-hmm. But man, come on, you can't be offside that many times. And then when you are not offside, you are shooting it straight at the keeper. I know we didn't pay any money for Kylian Mbappe, but like Real Madrid needs to get a refund.
Yeah,
that's an overreaction, I know, and I still do think, if I'm being very honest, Kylian Mbappe is gonna come good. But in that performance, Chuck, like you can't turn in a performance like that against your biggest rivals. Not only just Mbappe, the rest of the team. But the other thing about Barcelona, Chuck, is the fact that they seemed fitter for me than Real Madrid. And it's interesting because a report did come out to where Real Madrid players were questioning their training methods and their fitness levels. Because at the end of that game, I was shocked to see Fede Valverde gassed. Because there's a point where he was not chasing. That ball was being switched to the wings, and he's supposed to be the help with the fullbacks. And he just had nothing left in him. And that was a concern. And eventually Barcelona picked Real Madrid off. Embarrassing.
If you weather the storm long enough, then you'll get your opportunities. I think that's what it was for Barcelona, because they survived the offside goal by Mbappe. They survived the missed chances by Vinicius as well. I tend to think to myself, and maybe it was equal playing field, because if you say that they're rebuilding, then you have to mention Abo Femi, you have to mention Abo Kubasi, and forgot who was Pedri's partner. Those aren't the established guys, because De Jong comes in from the bench. The midfield makeup for me has got me a bit curious from Madrid. When you need DM work, is Tremaine still the guy? Because he seems to be off the pace a bit. And at right back, Lucas Vazquez is not the one. No. I saw him against Dortmund, got exposed a lot of times. I saw him in this game as well. Physically, he's just not there, man. Physically, because he can keep up with a lot of those guys, but once you get ahead of him, he does not recover at all. So you want to patch those things up if you're not going to show up in the middle, or if you're going to just have quality. Because against Dortmund, my complaint was when you have Camavinga, Valverde, and Modric, maybe just too much talent and not enough physical presence and oomph in the pitch. Maybe that's where they were let down in the first couple of minutes of that game. And then they put on Tremaine, if I'm not mistaken, to change that game around. But with this one, Modric did not start. So I wonder where the holes were. But I think, as you said, the line was good. And I think just their balance and their game control. Because sometimes their game management is good to a point where they take shots and they concede chances, but they're still in it. And then they come alive. For the mere fact that you don't want to give the ball, not right now. You don't want to give Rafinha the ball, not right now, because they're Purple Heart, right? Not to mention Lewandowski as well, who was very clinical with those two chances. Because if he scores just one, maybe Bayern, maybe Madrid are still in it. But if he scored two in 2 minutes, then the game is effectively over. So I think with them, man, they're finding their feet, but wait till they get everyone fit and healthy.